Dear students, today I shall take the new lesson, coordinate geometry. You have already learned this lesson in 9th standard. What is coordinate geometry? Sometimes it is also known as analytical geometry or Cartesian system. My question is, what is coordinate geometry? Coordinate geometry is a branch of mathematics which deals with the geometry algebraically. What is the meaning geometry algebraically? You know that in algebra we solved many problems using identities and formulas. So here also in this lesson, coordinate geometry, by using the formula we will solve the problems. That's why it is known as geometry algebraically. So what is coordinate geometry? Coordinate geometry is a branch of mathematics which deals with geometry algebraically. So this branch of mathematics was mainly developed by a French philosopher as well as the mathematician René Descartes. You have already studied how to locate a number on a number line. Just recall the concept of the number line. On the number line, there is a fixed point. From the fixed point, equal units are marked positively in one direction and negatively in another direction. So the fixed point is known as origin. So this is the number line. Now, how to locate a point on a plane? Did you understand? How to locate a point on a plane? Descartes developed the idea of placing two number lines perpendicular to each other and locate the point on the plane. So this is the main concept. So the two number lines perpendicular to each other. So therefore, to locate the point on a plane, we require two number line perpendicular to each other, or we require the coordinate axis. So they are also known as the coordinate axis. How to locate the point on a plane? We require two coordinate axes. So what are coordinate axes? The two perpendicular lines. The two perpendicular lines are known as the coordinate axis. So here the horizontal line x, O, x dash. So this is the horizontal line, and y, O, y dash, vertical line. The horizontal line x, O, x dash is known as x axis. Horizontal line x, O, x dash is known as x axis, and the vertical line y, O, y dash is known as y axis. So these are the two axes, x axis and the y axis. So what are coordinate axes? The two perpendicular lines are known as the coordinate axis. Now x, O, x dash is known as x axis and y, O, y dash is known as the y axis. Now these coordinate axis divides the plane into four quadrants. So this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Now look at the first quadrant. What is the sign concept of the first quadrant? So this one is the x axis, so y axis. So what is the sign of the x axis? Plus, and the sign of the y axis also plus. Any point on the plane is always denoted as x comma y, in the form of x comma y. That means, so this is the x coordinate and next one is the y coordinate. So my question is, what is the sign concept of the first quadrant? Now the x coordinate is plus and y coordinate is also plus. So therefore the first quadrant plus perpendicular axis x, O, x dash and y, O, y dash, or the coordinate axis, divides the plane into how many quadrants? Four quadrants. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. So the sign concept of the first quadrant plus. And next question, what is the sign concept of the second quadrant? So here the x axis minus and the y axis plus. So the sign concept is minus plus. So this is the sign of the second quadrant. And next the third quadrant. So third quadrant, x-axis minus, y-axis also minus. So therefore the sign concept of the third quadrant minus minus. And then fourth quadrant, so always in the form of x comma y, x coordinate, here the x-axis plus and y-axis minus. So that's why the sign concept of the fourth quadrant is plus minus. So I think it is clear. First quadrant plus plus, second quadrant minus plus, third quadrant minus minus, fourth quadrant plus minus. So these are the sign concept related to the coordinate axis. And one more point, for a point on a Cartesian system or the Cartesian plane, suppose this is a point P of x comma y on a plane. The perpendicular distance from the y-axis, the perpendicular distance from the y-axis is known as x coordinate. The perpendicular distance from the y-axis is known as the x coordinate, or it is also known as abscissa. And next one, the perpendicular distance from the y-axis, x-axis, the perpendicular distance from the x-axis, that is known as y coordinate. Y coordinate, or it is also known as ordinate. Once again I will repeat, the perpendicular distance from the y-axis is known as x coordinate or abscissa. The perpendicular distance from the x-axis is known as y coordinate or ordinate. And any point on the Cartesian plane is always denoted as P of x comma y. P of x comma y, x indicate abscissa or x coordinate, y ordinate or y coordinate. So therefore in the form of P of x comma y. I will ask one question, any point on the x-axis, what is the coordinate of this point? What is the general form? Any point on the x-axis, any point on the x-axis, the coordinates, their coordinates is always in the form of x comma 0. X comma 0. Why? Because on the x-axis means it has a value, x coordinate or the abscissa, but y-axis, y value is 0. Therefore any point on the x-axis is always in the form of x comma 0. So this is a general form. And one more thing, any point on the y-axis, any point on the y-axis, their coordinates, that is 0 comma y. Why? Because x-axis, x value 0 and y value, it has a value. So therefore 0, y. Any point on the x-axis, their coordinates is x comma 0. Any point on the y-axis, their coordinates 0 comma y. And one more thing. Now what are the coordinates of the origin? Origin is always denoted as O. Now what are the coordinates? The coordinates of the origin, here x-axis also 0 and y-axis also 0. So therefore the coordinates of the origin 0, 0. So these are the basic concepts that is related to the Cartesian system or the Cartesian plane. So I think it is clear. So this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. The x dash is horizontal line is known as x-axis and the vertical line y dash is known as the y-axis. The point of intersection between the x-axis and the y-axis is known as the origin. So the coordinates of the origin 0 comma 0. The coordinates of any point on the x-axis, that is in the form of x comma 0. The coordinates of any point on the y-axis, that is in the form of 0 comma y. So in this lesson we are going to discuss about the distance between any two points on a Cartesian plane or the Cartesian system. How to find the distance between any two points on the Cartesian system. Next we pass on to very important aspect of this lesson, that is the distance formula or distance between any two points on the Cartesian system or the Cartesian plane. How to find the distance between any two points on the Cartesian system. So that is the distance formula. Now observe the points A and B. Now what is the distance between these 2 points or the length? Now by joining the points A and B, so that is a line segment, so length of the line segment, so that is the distance between A and B. By using the ruler, we can measure the distance between A and B. Now the points A and B which lie on x-axis, so the point A and point B. Now the coordinates of the point A, that is 1, 0 and the point B 5, 0. So these are the coordinates of the point A and B. Now what is the distance or the length between A and B? How to find the distance? By counting the unit segment, we can easily find the distance. Or OA equal to 1 unit, and OB equal to 5 unit, means the distance. Now the length or the distance between AB is OB minus OA. OB minus OA means 5 minus 1 equal to 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. By counting the unit segment, that is the length or the distance between A and B. In the same way, now the any 2 points on the lie on y-axis, P and Q. Now the points P and Q lie on y-axis. So the coordinates of the point P 0, 2 and the coordinates of the point Q 0, 4. Why? Because any point, the coordinates of any point on the y-axis is always in the form of 0, y. So the coordinates of the point P is 0, 2 and the Q 0, 4. Now what is the distance between the 2 points P and Q? By counting the unit segment. So 1, 2 or 4 minus 2, that is 2 units. So we can easily find the distance between any 2 points. Suppose the 2 points A and B which is parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis, we can easily find the distance between any 2 points. But my question is it possible to find the distance between any 2 points if the points neither lie on x-axis or y-axis nor parallel to x-axis or y-axis? Is it possible to find the distance? Yeah, possible. How? By using the Pythagoras theorem. By this we can use the Pythagoras theorem. Just recall the Pythagoras theorem. So we formulate one of the formula to find the distance between any 2 points which lie on the Cartesian plane or the Cartesian system. So this formula is known as distance formula. Now see here, what is the distance between A and B? Now the points A and B, the coordinates of the point A is x1, y1 and the coordinates of the point B x2, y2, which is not lies on x-axis or the y-axis, or which is not parallel to x-axis or the y-axis. But how to find the distance between A and B? By this we can use the Pythagoras theorem. To apply the Pythagoras theorem, we require the right angle triangle. Now let A and B are the 2 points. The coordinates of the point A is x1, y1 and the coordinates of the point B, that is x2, y2. So these are the 2 coordinates point on the Cartesian plane. Now our aim is to find the distance between A and B. Now draw BC parallel to y-axis and AC parallel to x-axis. So this is the point of intersection. Now the coordinates of the point C. What is the coordinates of the point C? From the y-axis. From the y-axis. The distance is known as x coordinate. X coordinate is x2. From the x-axis, the distance is known as the y coordinate. So that is the y1. So therefore, the coordinates of the point C is x2, y1. Now, so this is ACB is a right angle triangle. So in triangle ACB, angle C equal to 90 degree. Students, for your extra knowledge, I will give the derivation of the distance formula. But for the examination point of view, you concentrate only on the formula, that much enough. Now, in triangle ACB, angle C equal to 90 degree. If one angle is 90 degree, that is known as right angle triangle. Now, can we apply the Pythagoras theorem? What is the statement of the Pythagoras theorem? Just recall. In a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So this is known as the Pythagoras theorem. So according to Pythagoras theorem, AB square, the square of the hypotenuse, the longest side is known as the AB, that is known as the hypotenuse. So the square of the hypotenuse is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides. The other two sides are AC and BC. So they are square. So AC square and BC square. So in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides by using the Pythagoras theorem. Now substitute the value. AB square. AB square or AB means the distance between the 2 points A and B. Our aim is to find the distance between A and B. So substitute the value AC square. AC square means AC. AC, what is the value of AC? AC means x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1 whole square plus BC. So the length of the BC means that is y2 minus y1. y2 minus y1. So this is AB square. But what is AB? How to find the AB? Therefore, AB equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So AB means the distance between A and B, or the length of the A and B. The distance is denoted as D, small letter D. So D equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is the formula to find the distance between any 2 points on the Cartesian plane or the Cartesian system. So formula D equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So formula to find the distance between any 2 points on the plane. So I think it is clear. What is the formula? Just recall formula. So this formula is known as the distance formula. So what is the distance formula? D equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Students, now practice the formula. We will continue in the next class. Thank you one and all.